Why we are tax-free. If you order items off the internet and have them delivered to an address in the USA, you may have noticed something new in the last few years. State sales tax collected at checkout. This is the result of a 2018 Supreme Court decision in the case of Wayfair versus South Dakota. We aren't going to get in too much detail about that case here. We will save that for another video. Basically, before the Wayfair decision, a company only had to collect taxes on behalf of a state if it had a physical presence in that state. The Wayfair decisions changed that, making it so that states could require vendors to collect tax for any items that are delivered to addresses in their state. Now let's go back a bit further than 2018, all the way to 1787 and the writing of the Constitution of the United States. The U.S. Constitution has 3 clauses that are very important to the topic at hand: the Commerce Clause, the Import-Export Clause, and the Export Clause. The Commerce Clause gives Congress the power to regulate commerce with foreign nations and between the states, whereas the Import-Export Clause and the Export Clause essentially prevent states from collecting taxes on goods that are being exported from a state. Take these constitutional clauses and add a couple hundred years of court decisions and related legislation, and the result is very clear. State tax cannot be collected on goods in the interstate or international transportation chain. Now, you are probably asking, so how does any of this relate to my Border Giant shipments? And here is the answer. If something is ordered from California by a resident of Minnesota, the shipment could make stops in multiple states on its journey, but only Minnesota, the state where the goods leave the transportation chain, can collect sales and use tax on the items. So the vendor knows they only collect the sales tax for Minnesota. But when you order something to be shipped directly to Canada from the USA, the vendor knows no US states can collect tax on it because the item leaves the transportation chain when it arrives in Canada. So the vendor doesn't collect tax at checkout. But wait, you may say, how does the vendor know not to collect state taxes for my Border Giant shipment when my order shipping address is the American address Border Giant has given me? Well, because Border Giant is registered with the US government as a commercial carrier and public warehouse, we are able to keep your shipment in the transportation chain until it arrives in Canada. Thus, the same laws about taxation apply as if the vendor shipped the goods directly to Canada themselves. However, this isn't the case with shipments that are delivered to locations that are not registered in the transportation chain. Such as when you or your company crosses the American border to pick up parcels from a US Post Box service, only to fulfill the rest of the shipping yourself to its final destination. You won't be exempted from state taxes that way. And one of the ways we abide to tax exemption policies some companies have is by providing them an additional document known as the Bill of Lading. It discloses that the shipment will be going directly from your Border Giant address to Canada. In fact, this document will automatically be generated by the Border Giant system when your shipment arrives at our US warehouse. So rest assured we have that covered for you. In summary, your shipments with Border Giant are free from US taxes because of the constitutional clauses that protect international and interstate shipments from state taxes, and with our licensing, we are able to keep your shipments in the international transportation chain all the way to Canada. Sign up with us today and start shipping faster, better, and cheaper.